The galactic misjudgment. The Xelthari Dominion had conquered 12 star clusters, not through chaos, but through calculation. Every species they encountered was evaluated the same way: strength, predictability, emotional stability, and humanity failed their test immediately. The Dominion's high strategist delivered the verdict in the council spire. Humans are compromised by affection. They displayed battlefield footage. A human soldier dragging a wounded ally, refusing evacuation until others were safe. Another video showed humans risking formation integrity to save non-combatants. The council labeled it operational weakness, emotional dependency. The conclusion was unanimous. Humans were not dangerous. They were inefficient. And inefficiency in the Dominion's logic meant controllable. So when humans were integrated into auxiliary roles across frontier fleets, no one expected them to matter in combat. Especially not the soft units. The ones with animals. 2. The boarding signal. The cargo vessel UNS Havenlight drifted through the Quran expanse. Civilian classification. Light escort. Minimal defense grid. Perfect target. Xelthari boarding pods latched onto the hull like insects. The assault team commander reported. No military signatures detected. Only biological cargo and human personnel. The Dominion commander replied. Proceed. Neutralize resistance. Inside the ship, alarms triggered. But not panic. Not chaos. Instead, calm procedure. A human voice over intercom. All K9 units. Deployment authorization confirmed. Another voice followed. Handlers, prepare sweep formation. The aliens didn't understand the words. They understood numbers. And the numbers looked harmless. 16 humans. 8 canine units. No heavy weapons detected. The Dominion comms channel labeled it low threat biological resistance. That assessment would not survive the next 5 minutes. 3. The humans and the dogs. In the lower hangar bay, humans stood in silence. Each wearing light tactical gear. Each holding a leash. But the dogs were not ordinary. They were K9 rescue combat hybrids. Genetically enhanced for vacuum survival endurance, neural threat mapping, acoustic danger detection, rapid tactical response in collapsed environments. They were not pets. They were partners. And they had been trained in one doctrine. Find life. Protect life. Eliminate threat to life. A handler knelt beside a German Shepherd unit. Echo, he whispered. We're going hot. The dog didn't bark. It simply locked focus. The boarding doors breached. And the silence broke. For first contact, the Xelthari assault unit entered in formation. Armor sleek. Movement synchronized. Weapons raised. They expected panic. They expected surrender. Instead, a dog stepped forward. Then another. Then another. No growling. No hesitation. Just stillness. One alien tilted its head. Biological intimidation attempt detected. A handler voice responded softly. Negative. He tapped his collar calm. Release formation. And then, the dogs moved. 5. The wrong kind of silence. It didn't look like chaos. That was the terrifying part. There was no screaming. No wild firing. No disorganized defense. Only precision. A dog darted between legs faster than sensors could track. A handler followed with controlled movement, marking targets with laser designators. Another dog pinned an alien weapon arm, not attacking the alien but disabling the firearm mechanism through pressure points. The Xelthari expected aggression. They got correction. Systematic removal of threat capability. One alien finally fired. The shot missed. Because the dog was no longer where physics predicted it should be. The handler spoke into comms. Sector 1 cleared. Another voice answered. Sector 2 moving. The aliens paused. Something was wrong. This wasn't resistance. It was coordination beyond their threat model. 6. The miscalculation. The Dominion commander analyzed the feed. They are using companion animals in combat roles. Psychological dependency confirmed. An advisor responded. Should we target the animals? The commander hesitated. No. Humans will hesitate if emotional assets are threatened. That was the second mistake. Because they assumed affection meant hesitation. They didn't understand the difference between attachment and discipline. Inside the corridor, a handler crouched beside a fallen dog unit. Lightly injured, not dead. He pressed a hand to its side. Still in the game? The dog blinked, then stood again. The handler nodded. Good. And kept moving forward. No hesitation. No breakdown. Only continuity. 7. The shift in fear. The aliens began to realize something unsettling. The dogs were not unpredictable. They were trained for pattern recognition warfare. They weren't attacking randomly. They were identifying weak structural points, acoustic blind zones, thermal signatures of alien armor joints. And the humans? The humans were not protecting the dogs. They were directing them like extensions of thought. A perfect loop of instinct and strategy. One alien whispered, "They are synchronized." Another replied, "No. They are integrated." And for the first time, Xelthari doctrine had no category for what they were seeing. 8. Breaking the boarding force. In the central corridor, resistance collapsed rapidly. Not through overwhelming firepower, but through removal of control points. Dogs disabled movement systems. Handlers secured zones. Escape routes were sealed behind advancing teams. It was not war. It was systematic cleanup of an intruding structure. One alien commander finally ordered retreat. Too late, because the corridor behind them was already silent. And behind silence were eyes, watching, waiting. A handler spoke calmly. "Last sector." He looked at his dog. "Let's finish the walk." 9. The final confrontation. At the ship's core junction, the Xelthari commander stood surrounded. He activated emergency protocol. Energy shields flared. Weapons charged. And then, the doors opened. Not violently, not dramatically, just opened. And a single dog walked in, followed by its handler. No rush, no aggression. The commander aimed his weapon. The handler didn't raise his. Instead, he spoke. "You think affection makes us weak." A pause. "It doesn't." The dog stepped forward. Calm, focused. The handler continued. "It makes sure we never leave anything behind." The commander fired. The shot was intercepted midair by a drone-assisted leash anchor system. Redirected. Disabled. The commander froze. That wasn't combat reaction. That was anticipation of intent. 10. The meaning of companionship. The handler walked closer. The dog circled silently. No barking. No rage. Only control. "You see weakness," the handler said. "We see responsibility." He gestured slightly. "And responsibility doesn't hesitate." The dog moved. Fast. Precise. The commander was disarmed in seconds. Not killed. Neutralized. Held down. Alive. The handler knelt beside him. "We don't fight alone." A pause. "That's the part you never understood." 11. After the silence. The boarding action ended in under 18 minutes. Xelthari forces neutralized. Ship secured. Minimal damage. No structural collapse. No uncontrolled destruction. The Dominion command reviewed the footage. And for the first time in their records, they did not classify humans as inefficient. They classified them as unpredictably coordinated through emotional bonding, which, in their system, meant dangerous. Final line. And in the quiet halls of the captured ship, the galaxy learned a new kind of fear. Not the fear of weapons. Not the fear of rage. But the fear of bonds that turn affection into precision, and companionship into strategy.